Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and today I'm going to be making a very simple everyday sandwich bread. My kids love bread. They love toast, making toast with it, French toast, eating it with just bread and butter. We go through lots of bread in our house. So I had to figure out a way to make one that is similar to store-bought so that they would actually eat it, and I finally found the perfect recipe. I've made this multiple times and it comes out delicious every single time. I did a poll over on Instagram and asked what you guys would like to see, and this was the most requested so far, so here we go. Okay, so first we are going to start by adding 2 tablespoons of dry active yeast. The recipe originally called for 1 tablespoon, but I don't have the patience to wait on it. Usually I make this when I have little time, so I add 2 tablespoons instead of 1 and it works out great. Then we're going to add 2 cups of warm water. Make sure your water is warm and not hot, because if it's too hot, it'll kill your yeast and you'll have to start all over again. Okay, now I'm gonna add just a small amount of honey. I would say less than a tablespoon. You could also use sugar here. Just use a pinch of sugar. I'm gonna stir this in and then I'm gonna let this sit and activate for about 5 to 10 minutes. The goal is to come back and the yeast mixture be foamy and bubbly and nice and active. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes and I love how foamy this yeast is right now, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of honey. Again, you can also use sugar here. It's just personal preference. You're gonna do 2 teaspoons of salt and then 2 tablespoons of oil. You can use coconut oil, avocado oil, you can use melted butter even. I'm gonna use coconut oil. I would suggest not using olive oil just because of the taste of it, but it's up to you. Do what you want. The recipe calls for 4 to 5.5 cups of flour. This is unbleached flour that I'm using. I'm going to start with 1 and mix that in, and then I will add the other cups. When you get to the 4th cup, just add them 1/2 cup at a time so that you don't overdo it. And you'll just sit there and play with your dough and see if it's too sticky or too dry to know what steps to take next. Okay, I let that mix for about 3 minutes or so, and I grabbed some more flour because my bin was out. And so I'm gonna add these other cups of flour right now and then let it mix for about 5 minutes. Okay, while that's mixing, we're gonna spray a large bowl with some avocado oil because we will end up transferring this dough into the bowl so that it can rise. I checked it right now and it's still just a little too sticky, so I'm going to add a half a cup of flour, let that mix together, and then I will see where we're at. This is the texture we want it to be. It is elasticy, but not super sticky. It's just like a happy medium, and that's exactly where we want to be. So that's why we add the half a cup at a time, because you can really just add a whole cup and it mess the whole batch of bread up. So half a cup at a time, just be patient with it and it'll come together very easily for you. I'm going to transfer the dough over to our greased bowl, and then we will let that sit for around an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how warm your house is. The dough needs to double in size, so just keep an eye on it. You don't have to stand over and stare at it, but just keep an eye on it, and when an hour and a half has passed or it's doubled in size, that's when you're ready to work with it. I'm gonna put some plastic wrap over the top of this just to keep bugs and things out of it. You could put a tea towel over this as well, and that'll work just fine. Okay, I'm sorry that it's a little bit darker in here. It's like 8 o'clock at night, and so I'm doing the best I can with this. So here is our bread. It has doubled in size now. So we're going to shape this up and do a second rise on it. Now, I spray my countertops with a little bit of oil. You do not have to do this. This bread is not super sticky, so you can just play with it with even a little bit of water on your hands would be totally fine. But just because it's late and if it does decide to get sticky, I don't want to do a lot of cleaning up, so I am going to spray it with oil. That's why there's no mess. See what I mean? It literally just falls right out. Good. Okay, we're going to do our best to put this in half and as even as possible. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're just gonna shape this out. This part, don't think too hard about it. It doesn't, this part does not have to be perfect either. When I first made this, I literally just like rolled it up and that was it. And then when I stuck it in there, I was like, oh gosh, that's probably not gonna work. And you know what? It worked just fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Just kind of pinching the seams down. Okay, just like that. I believe I sprayed, I sprayed this already. So I'm just gonna plop this in here, and that one's ready for its second rise. just like that. See, the ugly part can go on the bottom and it's gonna come for a second rise, so it's gonna be totally fine. Okay, we're gonna stick that in this one. Now, this part can get this is probably the trickiest part to the whole thing. The first time I did this, I laid a tea towel over the top of these, and it was too heavy for them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spray the tops of these with avocado oil spray. And then after spraying them, I'm gonna really gently just place a piece of plastic wrap on top of them. I'm not gonna seal it down or anything. I'm just very gently gonna lay it on there. And if you hear my kids, it is their video game time, so nobody's being hurt right now. They're just very excited. Just like so. You could use a napkin and put a napkin over it, paper towel, anything very light, and you just don't want it to stick to the bread. Okay, these are going to rise for about 45 minutes, depending on how warm your house is. And then after that, I'll show you what they look like and we'll put them in the oven. Oh, while these are rising, turn your oven to 350 degrees because that's what we're gonna cook them at. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. And so I'm going to very carefully take these off. These are rising faster probably because I put extra yeast in them and because it's super warm in my house. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the oven because these are ready. Okay, those are going to bake for about 30 minutes and then I will take them out and show you what they look like. Okay, so here they are. They are beautiful and I'm gonna cut into one right now to show you the inside, what it looks like. It's best to wait till these are all cooled down, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna cut right in and show you. This bread is so delicious. My kids love it more than store-bought bread. And I've tried a lot of recipes and this one has stuck, so we are very happy with it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening. I hope that you try this bread recipe and enjoy it as much as we do. Please hit that like and subscribe button to help me grow my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.